All right, where is the mainstream media right now? Because the Justice Department is signaling that Officer Darren Wilson should not be charged for the shooting of one Michael Brown. Katrina Pearson says do not expect an apology from the media or any change in its stance. The Attorney General was very quick to say that, race was an issue. Quiet on this issue. What are we to make of this, Katrina?
Well, I think, Neil, that it's pretty typical. What is the mainstream media going to do? Are they going to come out and issue a sincere apology to the police department, to Darren the officer? What are they going to do? They sat there for months and drove this huge wedge into the public, into America over race. I mean, I was expecting Eric Holder to have a press conference literally apologizing for driving this narrative that racism was involved when you have a boy,
But it was
a
the
man.
Justice Department itself that pushed that narrative, to your point, that said Ferguson was indeed about race. The shooting was indeed about race. And it was perpetuated by no less than the Attorney General himself. And now all of a sudden, no, oops, really?
Well, yeah, I mean, they did their own autopsy. They did a full investigation. The prosecution did a wonderful whole scenario. They had, I mean, the evidence was overwhelming. And the simple fact that the Eric Holder came out and said, we're going to look into this. Well, I think that the Justice Department needs to come out and tell the American public, you know what? We were wrong. There was no wrongdoing in this case. Michael Brown was a very bad person, and he got himself killed. It was wrong, and the injustice here was done to the police department in this particular case, and to the citizens in Ferguson, the business owners in Ferguson, where all the riots and all the money that these business owners lost. It's devastating what happened in Ferguson, perpetuated by the federal government, and they owe Ferguson an apology.
Well, you could argue that it was at the government's behest that they sort of fanned the flames and sort of got in bed with the likes of Al Sharpton. And you name it, and many argue by fanning those flames all the way to New York when we had a very similar incident. I guess what I'm asking you then is, if the media won't change when it comes to Ferguson, is the media going to change in how it approaches covering stories supposedly about race?
No, I don't think so, because it works. They sensationalize it. They get ratings off of it.
It's very good for money. You got a lot of money.
It's very good for money. A lot of money, and no one holds them accountable. So the question is, where's the recourse? What about the business owners? Maybe they should go out and sue Al Sharpton for agitating this. Maybe they should go out and sue the federal government for inciting this type of violence that took place in Ferguson. That's when the media is going to be held accountable, but they're never held accountable. To your point, they made money off this, and people lost their businesses.
Yeah, it's very sad. Katrina Pearson, thank you very, very much.
Thanks, Neil.
All right.